Hi, my name is Conrad Theophilus Whittle. I'll be asking some questions and answer them accordingly. So let's begin. Please tell us about yourself. What are your interests and hobbies? I am a dedicated and hardworking individual. I like to play football, chess, checkers, and dominoes. I also like to watch television. Are you involved in extracurricular activities that you could coach or supervise? Yes, I'm currently the Math Olympiad coach for my school. Over the past few years, I've been placed in the top 10 in the island, and currently we have a student for the first time being on the national team. Why did you decide to become a teacher for the subject for which you are applying? After graduating from high school, I did a volunteer work at a primary school as a teacher assistant. It is there I developed a passion for teaching. As a result, I applied to the Micro University College to pursue a bachelor in primary education. However, the then vice president encouraged me to pursue mathematics at the secondary level because of my qualification. I accepted because one, math was my favorite subject in high school, and two, because pursuing that bachelor degree in mathematics granted me a scholarship. Are you currently employed as a teacher? Yes, I am currently permanently employed as a math teacher at Manning School. How many hours per day do you teach and how many days per week? Even though the school session is from 8 to 3 during the school days, the teacher contact time I have with the students is on average 4 hours per day, which is approximately 20 hours for the week if it's for 5 days. Describe your teaching experience. What subjects have you taught and at what grade level? Since graduating from the Micro University College in 2012, I've been employed at Manning School, teaching grade 7 through 11 mathematics. Describe other work experiences you have had besides teaching. I have not done any other work in Jamaica besides teaching. However, I've worked in the United States of America for 3 summers while pursuing my bachelor degree in mathematics. Have you ever worked in the United States? If so, when, where, and why? As I said, I worked for 3 summers in 2009. I worked at a Jewish camp in Indiana. In 2010 and 11, I worked at Shaw's Supermarket in the fish department, meat department, and grocery department. I've also worked at McDonald's in the as a cashier and around the grill in the state of Massachusetts. Reason for this? One, it was my first time leaving the country, so I was very enthusiastic about learning about the American culture. Also, I was happy to share my culture with those who I encountered in America. Also, the opportunity was there for me to gain American currency to assist with my college expenses. What do you hope to be doing professionally 5 years from now? 5 years from now, I should be finishing up my master's degree, and after that, I'll be applying to become a lecturer at a university or college. If you were to talk with several of your colleagues, how would they describe your personality? Approachable, sociable, fun to be around. Some of them will say, I love to give trouble. Of course, in a good way. What would your students say about you? A student will say, I'm I'm the best teacher they ever had. Always at class. Always have activities to give them. Always present for class. Always early for class. Recently, I was awarded the most dedicated teacher from the student council body. That was in 2016. How do you prepare to teach your lessons? I always have my lesson plans. I always have activities. These activities will involve the topic it is being taught, as well as may not include or may not um, has anything to do with the topic. However, I always have activities to give to the students. I always have past paper questions relating to internal exams or external exams. What would your lesson plans include? My lesson plans include the topic, the objectives, prerequisites, it includes the teacher strategies, it includes the instructional materials, tools, it includes starter activity, main activity, preliminary activity, and also reflection. Think about a class that you have taught recently. Talk about two of the teaching strategies or methods that you used. Recently, I taught my fifth form students circuit theorem. I placed them in groups. I used a grouping technique here. Placed them in groups of 4 and gave them an activity sheet to complete. Of course, within their group, they'll have to read, interpret, and execute. And of course, answer question that follows within each activity. So they'll work in their groups to complete that activity. After each activity, I use the constructivist approach where I question the students as to what were your findings for each activity? What were the differences? If there are differences, what would have contributed to some groups having different results? And so from there we have a open discussion as to what took place for each activity and clarify any misconceptions and any error that each group would have had. What methods do you use to grade or evaluate your students' progress? I use written tests. I use group work where the students would have presented to a presentation. Now, when they do a presentation, usually I have a oral aspect where I question the students orally, and answer the question successful would have contributed to their final grade. Also, they will have a research, they'll written research that they'll present to me. Of course, when they present the work, I will also ask the groups about 2 or 3 oral questions, and answering correctly would have contributed to the final grade for that research. And that is how I've ensured that they understand the topic as well as giving their grades. If you use technology in your teaching, describe how you use it. I use generally, I have PowerPoint videos in the classrooms. I also use for my upper school students. Most of them, well, my upper students, and they have access, they have cell phones for fifth form and fourth form students. The lower school students, the third, second, and first, not all of them have access to cell phones or have cell phones. So for my upper school students, I use a WhatsApp group. I create a WhatsApp group where they'll post their questions that they're having. I'll post questions for them to solve. We also post if they have issues with any topics and so forth. I will have post links to websites that they can use to help them to develop and to understand the problem that they're having. We have discussion in the group so that students can help each other within the group. So it's an excellent forum. We have discussion using WhatsApp. If you have students who are noisy or non-attentive, share with us 2 ways you get them to be quiet and concentrate. 2 ways. If it's at the beginning of class, usually you start off with a puzzle. It may relate to the topic, or it may not relate to something that is interesting. Another way, if it's not the puzzle, I'll have a discussion, a topic. For example, recently I have a discussion where I ask the students, what is the relevance, the importance, the difference, and the similarities between Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram? Here they get them involved in discussion because they love those social media. So I get them involved so that we could get them. Once you get them involved in the discussion, then you'll control the way in which they are thinking, so they'll get less distracted. If it's in the middle of the lesson, then I'll have a 5 minutes break where we discuss why is it that you're not concentrating. And from there, we can proceed as to how to deal with the issue. If they are tired for the reason that they're not concentrating at the middle of the lesson, then we do a little 5 minutes or 10 minutes break, let them rest, and say we're going to go back to the work at hand. If it's for argument's sake, it's something else where they don't understand or and so forth, then we show them videos and so forth that can help them or go around and assist them individually to ensure to find out. Once you know what's the reason why they are not concentrating, then I take an approach to deal with the reason, the problem. Describe the most difficult problem you have had to deal with as a teacher, and how did you solve this problem? My most difficult problem as a teacher is actually teaching mathematics to students who are not interested in learning mathematics. In Jamaica, math is compulsory. As a result, everyone has to learn it. Of course, you'll have students who do not want to learn it, but they have to learn it. So that is my main problem. Not want to learn something, they'll think it as you're forcing them to learn something, and that could be a serious challenge. That's my problem actually. So what I do to get them to think that I'm not forcing them is to, one, understand why is it that they find math uninterested. They're not interested in math. The main reason is because they find math difficult. So what we try to do is that for each topic, you break it down to the most basic and fundamental aspect. And from there, you take time build. The more they get the questions correctly at the basic level, you build on it each time, get the questions more difficult until they reach the level at which I would want them to learn, at which they should learn. Building their confidence, because once you have confidence, then you'll do well at math. If you lack confidence, think you're uninterested, then you'll have a serious problem. So I try to build their confidence, and that's how I get them to appreciate and not see math as this difficult aspect and this aspect where of their life where you're forcing them to learn. Give one example to show that you are a flexible person and that you can make changes to your teaching and methods if that is necessary. Sometimes you're in the class and the students do not understand the topic. So when I use the videos, they may still don't understand. I mean, the PowerPoint, they may still don't understand. But sometimes, if it's one or two students who understand, I'll allow that one person or two persons to explain to the other students if they understand, for them to understand. And if it's a larger group that understands, maybe 50% of the class, then I put the students in pairs where they'll help each other to understand, because learning from each other helps as well. So the videos may not work, the PowerPoints may not work, myself explaining may not work. My last resort is to help the students to teach each other, and then we work from there. Otherwise, we go from beginning and trying to improve on the basic and try to build on that. Once you understand the basic things, we build on that. And what's the problem? Is there anything you would like to add about your qualifications that we may not be aware of? No, there's nothing you're not aware of. Have you spoken to your family about going to the United States to teach? Yes. Is there anything such as a family member that might object to you leaving your home? No. Are you aware that your family members may not join you until approximately 4 to 6 weeks after your arrival? Yes, my family is aware, my wife is aware, and my extended family, our extended family is aware as well. Our aim is not to reside in America. Our aim is for me to travel to and from, and she will travel as well when she has holidays and have holidays and so forth, traveling, because she is permanently employed as a senior teacher, and so I wouldn't want her to give up her job. Maybe after a year, after we realize and understand the pros and cons of me working in America, then we may ask her to come and join me as well. But at least for the first year, we'll be doing more traveling because going to Jamaica to South Carolina is not as expensive. So could afford to travel between sessions. Do you understand and accept that FACES is a 3-year program? And after 3 years, you must return to your home country. Yes. Do you agree to this? Yes. I understand and agree. Thank you.